Hello everyone. I received several questions on my videos about how the basics of this game works. So in this video I will talk about every little thing I can think of, how you can improve your gameplay and how you can become better playing at this game. This video will consist of several parts. You will be able to use the timestamp to jump between them. If you feel like you already know the basics, then you can skip that. If you don't need leveling, you can skip it. So we will start with the basic parts of the game and how to use the different menus and everything else. The leveling, then the items, then the different game modes that you can play, then Reaper Smith, and after that we will go to the advanced tips and tricks, and after which we will do the how to do damage in this game and how to make your defenses and what to do with Nether gear, how to get them, how to craft it, and how to use the build planner that you can follow and you can make your best in slot gear with it. So to start off, the basic parts of the game are as follows. You can turn on and off the map by using tab by default. I usually leave it on, but if it bothers you, then you can just switch it off. For skills, you can use C, and for skills, it's important to know that you can retalent whenever you feel like it. Each and every skill that you will get will require that you get a certain level of mastery of that skill, which you do by simply using that skill or leaving it on your bar while you are leveling with your other skill. For example, if I level with arrow shot, I can level up stab if I want to. The max level from leveling is 15. And if I put it here, then it will level up and eventually it will reach max rank. You don't need max rank to get every mastery for it. As you can see, at a way lower level, you will already get the masteries. Okay. So, how to use your Slorm, which is here. This is the basic currency that you get besides gold. And you can use this to level up your masteries. You can use in every skill only one of the masteries that you will see as highlighted. See, now it's used, now it's not used. Whenever it's used, its effect will be on, and if it has an increased mana cost, it will affect your skill that you are using, and the mana cost, as you see, will increase. For them to level up, you need to actually put your Slorm in, and as you see, in the beginning, it will cost only a very small amount, but for example, here, no, not here, here, you can see that when I put more level in, it will cost more and more Slorm. And in the beginning, you will be very short on supply with Slorm, so you will have to choose what you first level up with. And I suggest if there is something that requires rank 10, while you are leveling, you don't go for max rank, you just go a bit lower and you will have a lot more Slorm that you can put into other abilities that you want to use. By default, you will have two skills that you can put on your action bar, and these will be active that you can use. There are other ways to activate skills, and then if you talent them out, they will be activated. The quickest example of this is this one. Arrow shot will be triggered if you cast stumble, then another one will land. So there are ways to indirectly trigger your skills. There is a support skill, which also means what will be your profession, I guess. This mainly affects your character in a way that this doesn't only have active abilities like the skills. These only affect the skill itself, but it will have passive abilities such as, in this case, 10% critical strike chance for everything. So these are the three main things that you will use to combine and get your character of what you want to do. Okay. Then let's discuss how, when you are playing, can see the damage that you do and the damage that you get. I suggest you turn on display enemy life total, so you will get an idea about how much damage you need to do to actually kill them. And display hero life total is useful, so you can see how much HP that you have and what percentage of a hit, what percentage of your HP will be taken by a hit. Display hero damage. I suggest turn this off when you no longer need to check what's your damage is. When you are leveling, you want to leave this on so you can see that, for example, after the next item, you no longer deal 20k damage, you are now doing 30k damage. And that's a good increase. You want to keep that item in that case. You can make it critical only, you can turn it off. Display combo and damage meter. By default, this is an on streak, but you can turn it on to be always on. This is very useful, so you can always check what's your damage is. Especially this is good for bosses, where often you are only damaging the boss, and this damage meter will count every possible damage that you do in that second, so it will consider the AoE damage as an inflated number. But on bosses, you can actually check if you have like 10 million DPS, let's say. That would be good, and you would be able to kill every bosses easily. I suggest turning these off, and I suggest turning the display loot name on. I think it was off by default. You can center your map. By default, it's on the left. I like it in the middle, so that's why I centered it. But this is entirely up to you. You can also make the transparency lower or higher, depending on your preference. I would heavily suggest using hide gathered slorm. This will otherwise clutter your entire screen and you won't be able to see anything. Moving on from here, with pressing T, you can see your attributes, and every level you will get an attribute and you will be able to put attributes on your gear later on. There are attributes that I suggest that you use for leveling, and because you will use mostly raw damage, highly likely, I suggest using Savagery for the damage increases. As you can see, it gives a very good multiplier for your Reaper, which in the beginning will be the majority of your damage. And it will have a chance to ignore armor to increase your damage. And later on, it will have maximum raw damage increase based on your missing life. This likely won't be relevant to you, but you can plan an entire build around this one thing. But what will be good for you is this Reaper damage increase, which will consider the difference between raw damage minimal and elemental damage minimal. This can be a very big number, and this is a very good multiplier that you will use in the beginning to actually kill mobs. So your main stat in the beginning will be Savagery. I suggest later putting on 10% critical strike chance from Fury. Most likely you will want to do critical strike and 5% ancestral strike from Zeal. If you are utilizing critical strike and ancestral strike, these are very good to have. Other things to note is attack speed is very convenient to have. I suggest putting some points into it. And the bravery will give you a very good boost on the movement speed in the early game. But since savagery take priority, these will be in a much lower state. I suggest rushing for savagery 60. For ancestral runes, stones, you will get these stones while doing the campaign that I will talk about. And this will be another point where you can do you can make your hero to do increased damage, which increased damage in this game is a multiplier. And the way that you can think about it is every different type of increased damage, for example 25% raw damage here, will be multiplying your actual damage. So this isn't added to other raw damage increases such as this one, but these will be multiplying together, so they are much stronger than, for example, in Path of Exile, where increased damage is always added together. For this reason, I heavily suggest going for this raw boost when you are leveling, and most likely you will also want to get the exceptional accuracy while leveling. And here is also a good one that you might be able to reach depending on what leveling strategies to use, but this is also a very big boost for your damage. If you are searching for it, for example, you can search for raw damage, and you can see that you can get extra raw damage from this point. As a starter build, I suggest going for this, and later you will be able to find other points that you can use, and later when you have all the stones in place, you can make an actual build around these Ancestral Legacy stones. Okay, let's show currency. These are the two basic currencies that you have, Slorm and Gold. They will be used for crafting and leveling up. I also forgot to mention, for these to level up, you need to again put Slorm into it. As you can see, I have these as max level, and to do this you need to again put Slorm into it, and you need to have them targeted with a stone. If they are not highlighted, they are not active. So for example, I have this maxed out for reasons I will tell you later, but this isn't used right now because there is no stone in that highlights this one. Okay. The reason why you might want to put extra points into here, even if you are not using it, is because you will get extra elemental damage based on how much points you spend on here. If you care about elemental damage, this is a very expensive but a reliable way to get the, I think the 4000 is the maximum. This will be exponentially more, it will cost exponentially more Slorm for you to do this. The first 2000 is relatively cheap to get. So for example, if you put points into every single light talent here, you will get around 2000, and that doesn't cost as much. But to get everything on the map, you will need around, I think, 20 something million Slorm to do so. And you will only get another 2000 for it. The same goes for skills. The more points you put in skills, even if you are not using them, for example, I don't use these ones, but you will get extra raw damage based on it. Now, depending on your character, it can be possible that you don't actually want these extra damages because of the talent I showed you earlier, that see the difference between your minimal elemental damage and your minimal raw damage. That would make it that you would want as low elemental damage, for example, as possible. So you would want to remove all your points that you are not using from your ancestral tree. Going back to currencies, besides the two basic currencies, you will have Elder Slorm and Pure Slorm. These are again spending currencies. And for crafting currencies, you will have Slormite, you will have Slormandrite, and you will have Slormeline, and you will have Spirits. These used for different parts of crafting in the game, which I will tell you about later. The main item that will decide your build will be your Reaper. You can go into this Reaper place by either clicking on it or use R. By default, you are starting with Adam Nostrus bow, and later on you will be finding most of these Reapers at random. When you are opening portals, each portal will have a chance to drop you one of the Reapers that you don't have yet. Reapers also can level up, and there are Reapers that have different versions. For example, the basic Reaper will level up at different Reaper levels, and this is the max version. These are almost always strictly better, and you want to use the max version of it. And if you manage to level these up to 100, for example here, this is a max level Reaper, you will have the option to use the Primordial version of these Reapers. If you click on this button here, you will see the Primordial version of the Reaper. This will give you usually a very big benefit and a very big drawback. It's entirely possible that you want to use the simple version and not the Primordial version, because they give the same stats, but you might not want to get the negative effect from this one. Okay. There is also Reaper Affinity. As you can see, it's 100 here. And you can put Affinity on your gear, and it will increase the stats that you see down there, how much of these the Reaper gains per level that it levels up. So getting this to 150 will more than double the stats that this Reaper will give you for each level. Okay, the next one is the runes. I will set up my Reaper back to the original form, which is this one for me. And let's go through runes. Runes are powerful items that you will be used to do damage or get up defenses. You will get this from the forge, and the way you use it is you will have an effect rune and you will have an activation rune. And you will also have an enhancement rune that will modify these effects. For example, this enhancement rune cheapers the activation cost of your activation rune and will increase its effect. The one I'm using right now, for example, is a thing that can stack up on you 10 times. And for each time when a negative effect will affect you, this will remove one of these stacks and the negative effect will be negated. This is very strong, this is why I use it. The very basic first activation rune that is very easy to achieve for any build is the number of mobs that you kill will activate it. If you are not fighting bosses or doing things that would require you to use on single target without much mob density, this is the best way probably to activate your runes over and over again. If you do so, then there is other possibilities to activate it with. For example, I'm using mana spending to activate my runes. You can farm these runes up, all these versions, really fast from the forge. The way you do so is you go to the forge. You will have to spend Elder Slorm to activate it. But as you can see, the minus version of it requires you absolutely nothing. And it's very easy to do so. You will get these runes when you see a siege leader in the forge, and when you defeat that siege leader, it will offer you one of these runes until you have all your runes. So the best tactic for it is to spam these forges and only go as far as the siege leader, get the runes, and immediately finish your siege and start a new one again. The next one is the ultimatums. I'm using a very strong ultimatum, as you can see. That ultimatum, what it does, it always takes one of your attributes and set it to a fixed number. In the beginning, you will start off with the experience one, and this is very strong. It will help you level up, except for one place where I will specially mention this, that you shouldn't use this, but otherwise I suggest while you are leveling up to use this rune. Not rune, but ultimatum. The way you get these ultimatums is when you are doing your quest, you will unlock the tower here, and this mage will send you on the board, will be able to send you on temple runs that I will show later. This has a place here where you will see all your ultimatums and you can level them up to 15. We will go back here later, but if you come here, you can start your temple runs, and every 5 level you will get a new ultimatum, and eventually you will fight the temple bosses 3 times. This is, I think, at level 100, I'm pretty sure. And after you finish this, you will just do the temple for pure Slorm. This is how you convert your Elder Slorm into pure Slorm. You also need Elder Slorm to pay for the forges. As you see, the max level forge will require a lot more Slorm than the beginning. It also will require a lot more because when you are in the forge, you will also want to pay extra to open extra doors. Okay. On the left side, you can see your character sheet that will show you each and every of your stat. This is very useful because not only you will be able to see the stat, but you will be able to see the description for it and how it's calculated. So, for example, I can see that I have on life on hit, I have 133 life on hit and a 10% added percent, and I have 0 multipliers for it. You should also use this to highlight the different items that you are searching for. In the beginning, you will use this to find your basic blue and yellow items that you want to wear. For example, you will want to see if it has road image, for example, and armor penetration and critical strike chance. You will check this in, and you will be able to highlight those items. As you can see, these items are highlighted because they either have movement, attack speed, critical strike chance, or any of the rest that I find important. You will use this later to farm pure stats, which you will need to make your nether gears. You don't need pure stats for nether gears, but pure stats are double of the normal stats, possibly. And this makes them very strong, and you will be able to craft 3 on your nether gear. So this is why you want to, at the late game, farm for pure stats. NPCs in town are as follows. Here is the first that you will get, who you can sell your items to for gold. I rarely ever use this. The only thing that you will want to see here, I never use this gamble, I think I tried it once, is this tab, because you will be able to buy relatively cheaply Slormite that you can use to reinforce your items. These are not really important. I never seen any legendary version of it that would be relevant for us. But these ones, the Flawless Slormite and the Modest ones, these are good to have. This is tier 7, for example. This is good. You will be able to sell your items and later buy back if you don't want them to be sold after all. The next one is probably the most important character, the Smith. Here you will be able to to upgrade your items and to give them different stat and to reforge them the way of your liking. I will show you later how to use this properly, but you can disenchant your items for shards and you can turn those shards into the proper usable versions of it. As you can see, these are the materials that you will need, these are the fragments that you will need for it, and each one requires different types and versions for it. You will be able to also use the loot filter that you can either set here, or while you are running, here's the other button that you can use to set up your loot filter. We will talk about this later. And this is the nether crafting. This will be in the advanced part of the video. By pressing P, you can also see your profile. The one thing that is very relevant from here is this point, where you can check your influence level of each of the levels that you are on. So as you can see, I only have 34 here and 50 here. You can level this up to 100. I don't suggest that you do that. It takes a lot of time, and battlefields don't give that much reward after the mid game. These are absolutely fine at level 50. If you plan on farming for several months, that maybe it's worth leveling them up to 100, but it will take a lot of time to do so. Okay, the next part is leveling and how to do so. You will start off at the graveyard, and the way you level is you always go in and you will see different parts highlighted if you unlock them, and you will start these runs, and the more you do, the higher you will get, and finally you will finish this part and you will go to the next set. There are two places that worth mentioning here, this one and this one. This will unlock the two other characters that you didn't choose at the start, and later on you will be able to swap to them whenever you like. Okay, first you will unlock this, and later on, sometime later, you will unlock this tower. And the importance of this is that this tower has the best map for leveling that I will show you, which is this one. Whenever you are leveling, if you are at a higher level than where you want to go, you can set this to match your level, which means that you will always get the XP that you would get from other places. And you can use this strategy to farm this level over and over again to level up very quickly. The way that you will do so is that you go in and you will rush here, and here you can see 3 portals that are timed portals. These are special ones that don't immediately spawn all the mobs, but will spawn a lot more mobs during a period of time. So you will go here with whatever character that you have, and you will be able to kill, as you can see, 4 or 5, almost 500 mobs in under a minute. After you finish it, you don't want to complete this one. You want to press L and to leave immediately. Here you will see your stats of what was your highest damage, the total damage, average DPS, everything that you want. You can check at the end of every map, primary skills cast, and how much items you find. This you can use to improve your gameplay, and it's very useful to see that, for example, how much damage you do. But be aware that this will be heavily influenced by the type of mobs you are fighting against. So because the mobs here are very weak, my highest DPS was only 100 million. But if these were stronger mobs, then my possible DPS is around 300 million, the highest possible one. But you will never be able to see here because the mobs are too weak. And you will go here and run again, and you do this until you are level 100 if you want the most efficient leveling strategy. But I suggest every once in a while you go back and do battlefields and other things, because it's just really boring to do so by itself. Okay, let's go through possible leveling talents that you can use to level up, for example, Huntress. In the beginning, you won't have much stats to play around with, so I suggest that you find a build that doesn't need much to be a viable build. The best example for this is Void Arrow. This is what I suggest that Huntresses use for leveling. You will get it fairly early on, as you can see. It doesn't show me anymore, but you will get around character level 20ish, I guess. You will get it as a skill, and you can start to level it up. And when you put skills into here, it will make it that it will have a 100% rebound chance, and it by default has 100% pierce chance if you fully charge it. And this is a very strong debuff, this wormhole, that you can give with the Void Arrow. It's strong because after you kill a mob with that debuff on, which you will do because you one-shot most mobs, this Legacy of the Void will delete other mobs when you kill one of them. The best part about this is that there are mobs that have this proximity shield that makes them really hard to kill, and you need to go inside it to kill them. But this effect will be actually able to delete them, as I noticed. And with this last talent, you will be able to use this without charging Void Arrow. So right now, for Void Arrow, I need to charge them up, but to do maximum damage with it. But if I'm in a tormented phase, which is what you do when you use both of your skills, then Huntress will be in a tormented state. Then it will instantly charge, and the mana cost will be free if you use your tumble correctly. So what I suggest that you have this exact talent for Void Arrow, and you will have this talent for Arrow Shot, And for tumble, you will use it almost exactly the same. I would suggest getting movement speed from here instead. And getting the extra arrows from here in the beginning. Later, you will want to switch to this one. The exception is if you are following my starter guide, you will always want to use the Savage Luck Mastery instead of the extra arrows. Okay, let's set it back. This is the endgame version I'm running. It will remove the rebounds and the pierce, and instead will upgrade the fork. And to this to be effective, you need to get stats on your gear, because otherwise the other version is strictly better. So once you have enough fork, pierce, and rebound on your character sheet, this is a better way to use arrow shot. Otherwise the other one is better. Okay, after you finish your campaign, meaning you went through all these small places, if you can see this, after you finish this, the next part will be to use this little guy and to do battlefield runs, and later Slorm Temple, Great Forge, and after that Nether World runs. And when you are doing this, check this board, and this will guide you through pretty much until the end game of what you need to do next to be able to advance to the next part of the game. For example, you need to reinforce an item to level 6, get Ultimatum to level 3. These are easy things to do that will teach you how to use the game mechanics of the game. There are a lot of things that you need to level up in this game. The first one is your character level. This will be by doing just anything in the game. And this is affected by experience gain that sometimes you get on some of your gear. Experience gain is here. Once you're at 100, experience gain sadly doesn't matter, because skill mastery doesn't use experience, it uses mastery XP as a different stat that you can use to level up each and every of your skill. As you can see, even I don't have every of my skill leveled, but I have the main ones leveled up to the maximum. Okay. After that, there is the ancestral tree that you need to level up, and you need to level up your Reaper level. This will be the second thing that is done automatically just by playing the game, and it's worth mentioning that this is way faster than leveling up your character. Your Reaper to be at level 100 will usually take, when you are at level 80 plus, will take about like half an hour to do so. It's not a long time to get this up to level 100. Item level, you need to be a higher level than the items that you are using. The exception for this is level 100. But you want to level up your items with yourself, because level 100 item will give significantly more stat, I think twice as much, but I'm not sure, than the level 0 or level 1 item. The items can also be reinforced, as you can see here. The maximum is 20, which is really hard to do. When you are leveling, I suggest that you aim for 6 to 8 on every piece of your gear, and when you are around the mid game, you aim for level 10 for every one of your gear. And after mid game, you will be going for level 15. I will show you the tricks how to do this, but this is what you want. You also need Reaper affinities. As you can see, my Reaper is 150. you get 100 by spending at the Reaper Smith the points, and 50 from your items. You can level up your Ultimatum to level 15, and you can level up your runes. And I suggest that you try to keep this at balance. So you level up your runes to like 5 or 6, then you level up your Ultimatum a bit. It's not beneficial for you to have an item, for example, that is at maximum possible level and maximum possible reinforced level while your other items are lacking behind. It's very inefficient, so you should keep them at level. Okay, let's go through item crafting. You should craft items to level with your character, and you can start crafting items almost since the beginning of the game, and it's very cheap to do so. This is the basic part where you reforge your items, and unlike other games, this is a very deterministic way to reforge your items. In the beginning, I suggest that you get mana and life regen and raw damage on your gear. These in the beginning are very broken stats, and just by getting 2 places with life regen, you will be practically immortal throughout the campaign. The way you do so is, for example, on this bracer. As you can see, if I scroll down here, there are different reforging practices that I can do. On the right here, I cannot show it with my mouse, you can see this bracer and how this reforge will modify it. This, for example, will reforge the stats on the base stat part. The important thing with this is that you can, if you want, reforge each and every stat by itself of what it does and how much of it does. So you can reforge the scores and the stats it gives you. For example, as you can see here, it will give a possible outcome list, graying out everything that it cannot give you because it's already on the gear. The white ones are the one that you can roll, and if I roll this, you see the orange ones. They won't be showing up until an entire cycle is complete. So, for example, the next craft will be almost certainly, not almost, but certainly will be armor and attack speed. It cannot give you anything else. So even if you are very, very unlucky, you can force each and every stat on this game to be on your gear. You don't need to roll 100 times to get something. It will happen eventually. So if I reforge it again, as you can see, it happened exactly what I told you to was going to happen. I got attack speed and armor. Then I can do so that I can say that, okay, I'm happy with the attack speed because it's almost 11%. That's good enough for me. I don't want to reroll it. I can go down a bit, and there is a lock attack speed version here. As you can see, it costs slightly more because it always costs 500 to lock and 1500 to unlock, and you are using your Slormline whenever you are doing this crafting. So I will lock now attack speed, and I come back here to reforge armor into another stat, which will be Ancestral Strike because I want, or let's say raw damage, because I want raw damage to help me kill the mobs. So I will start crafting, and now I got raw damage, and I'm not happy with this number, so I go up 1. And as you can see, whenever you move from this reforge version, it will reset this list that you have on the right side. It's no longer orange because you went to another place. And this means that the entire cycle is reset. You can get every white one again. So I go to Reforge, and I reforged it, and now it gives me more raw damage. So I'm happy with this. I can leave it as it is. Then I go down to defense, and I can do the same. And I can go to magic, and as you can see, magic has a lot more options for me than the base stats was. But you should always see that the base stats will give significantly more than the magic stats. So you always want to plan your gear around base stats, because, for example, if you want raw damage, you should be getting it on your base stat, because the base stat will give way more than raw damage here. As you can see, the highest raw damage here is 639, while on the other place, that's the lowest minimal damage that I can get. So it's way better to use your base stats for the big stats that you want to increase. Okay. As you can see, you can get, for example, mana leech or mana hit here. I suggest that you get mana regen and life regen on your gear in the beginning. In the beginning, mana leech and life leech isn't that effective, but from the mid game onward, where you are doing about 100,000 plus damage, mana leech and life leech are by far the most effective way to get your leech and your mana and life back. Okay, let's say I craft some pierce chance on it because I want my pierce chance to be around 100. So I did this crafting. And you can upgrade every item to legendary status even if you want to. And for example, I can upgrade it to rare. As you see, reforging costs like 500. Adding a rare slot will cost a lot more money than using a rare gear. So this is why you usually want to use epic gear that you find, because you will not have to pay this initial gold cost, which takes a lot of money. But I crafted this on, and now I can craft raid gear, rare stats the same as before. I can also add epic stats. As you can see, this is a lot more money than the ones before. So you, on a basic gear, you really don't want to do this, because rerolling every single one of these stats to the perfect ones that you exactly need is cheaper on a random epic gear than using your already rolled gear and crafting an epic stat on it. So what I'm doing right now you shouldn't do. You can upgrade it. And once you do, as you can see, this is a lot more option, about 30 to 40 usually. But epic stat will give you 3 possible stats that you can get, not just one. These are lower level, so the area damage reduction that you get here is about half that you can get in a magic stat. But you can get 3 of them. So in the beginning, if you just want one epic stat from here, it's relatively cheap. As you can see, it costs only 200 to reroll. And let's say I wanted life leech on it. I got it almost immediately, but at worst it will be around 10 reforges to get this one stat. The reason why this will take a lot more money is because then I need to log this stat, and then I need to reroll now just 2, still this many possibilities to get, for example, mana leech that I want. And I will need to roll about 20 times to get that one stat that I want. And after I do so, I need to lock it, and I will need to reroll my last stat about 30 times to get the last stat that I want to use on this gear. As you see, the more perfect that you want this gear to be, the more money and more Slormline it will cost. In the beginning, the biggest hurdle that you will have is this epic Slormline, because you won't be getting enough of it. The others, the green and the blue one, is you will always have enough of those, so that's not an issue. After about, I would say, level 70 or level 80, you should start focusing on your gear and start crafting on them Reaper stat, Mastery stat, and Attribute stat. I would always focus on Mastery stat first. This is about a 10% damage increase on each and every part of your gear when you craft it on. For example, for Mastery stat, since I'm using Arrow Shot as my main ability, I will craft on this, as you can see, it now gives Smoke Screen extra 2. I reforge it, and now it gives Arrow Shot 2 extra. If it only gives 1, then I reforge it once, and it's back to 2 now. The Reaper stat should always, there are exceptions, but should almost always match your own Reaper. For example, as you can see, under the description there is Primordial Bow by Hagen. This means the Reaper was crafted by Hagen, so I want the Reaper stat to be from Hagen as well. If you are not sure about this, then you can go to the Reaper Smith, and the first Reaper Smith that you will see there is the one that your current Reaper is using as a main one. So, for example, I now rolled Hagen, and now I can upgrade it to 5. Oops, I have it. Okay, here it is. The last thing that you can get here is Attribute stat. And you should always see what attributes that you need, and depending on that, you should craft those attributes on it. You can save some money by having more than one stat that you are going for. So, for example, when I rolled it, I was fine with Fury, I was fine with Zeal, and with Bravery, and with Dexterity. This means that almost 50% chance when I roll this attribute that I will get something that I actually want. So when I reforge it, it already has Zeal. I can use Zeal, so this is already fine for me. But I can reforge it to have 3 instead of 1, and now it gives the best possible out of these things that I want. There are items that I would suggest to be legendaries that you want to level up with yourself. If the legendary you have is a lower level than you, then you can update the item level by this, which is not as expensive as you think, but it's not cheap either, so it's around in the middle. But if you want a legendary that is, for example, a core of your build, like this one, you want to upgrade them to 100, so I just upgraded to my 100, which is my level. And now this is at the highest possible level for a normal gear. You can also craft legendary effect on a gear. You should almost never do this. I suggest not doing this because rerolling every single thing on a legendary is cheaper than doing this add legendary effect. The only reason you want to do this, if you already rolled it perfect and you are too lazy and don't want to spend the time to roll it perfect again, then you can spend extra gold and you will have a legendary that you can use later, but this costs a lot of gold. What you want to do instead is, let's say I want this legendary bracelet effect. I find another bracelet that doesn't give that effect. That's fine, because I can reforge the legendary effect for only one of these, and it takes still some gold, and each and every part has about 20 different versions of legendaries. So at worst, it will be around 20 of these, and around a bit more than 1 million. but I can force any legendary out from these items if I want. This is very useful because you don't have to farm for each and every legendary that you want to use in the mid game. When you are leveling, you don't need legendaries. When you are in the mid game battlefields, you want to have your basic legendaries, 1 to 3 of them, that will be the corner of your build. By rerolling this, I will show you right now, I can force it to be this gold giving legendary. So I will just start rolling it. Here you go. Took about 8 tries. And if you are over-rolling it, it has a grace period of 1 where you can roll it back, which is also important. But you should be careful with this. Okay, this is the basics of crafting. It also worth mentioning that you need fragments for these crafts, and you get fragments out from items. So, for example, this item, I want to use this to get the fragments out of it. I drop it here, I get the fragments out. All these have a quick version to salvage all of them if you want. Be careful with this, but this is very helpful to get a lot of fragments. Here you can craft the fragments into the exact ones that you want to use. And let's go over reinforcement next. We will go filter and Nether later. So after I have now my beautiful bracelet that I want to use, notice that it's at 0 right now, but it's ready to be reinforced because I weared it while I was killing mobs. This means that it can be reinforced, and it already suggests which one you should do for reinforcing. If you are using a Slormite that is a lower tier than the one that you are reinforcing, you will have a fail chance, usually around 50% by default. The different levels of leveling up this item here with reinforcement, I suggest there are 4 main ways that you do so. When you are just leveling up, you don't care about this. You simply want to put in the exact one that you need, and you press activate and you will level it up by 1. In the beginning, this will be very fast, so until level 8 or 10, this will be 1 or 2 runs per leveling up, so this is a very quick way to do so. Later, it will take a lot more XP to farm it up. But if you are leveling up a gear that is, for example, I have all my gear, but I still need to level up one of my, let's say, shoulders, then I can do it quicker by using, if I have a lot more to spend, a higher level of Slormite here. As you can see, the critical reinforce chance is way higher, and I have chance for a double reinforce. This is very efficient in the late game, but I don't suggest you use it in the beginning. The other thing that you can do is to force a double enforcement by using these. If I put 20 in it, as you can see, it's 100% chance to double reinforce it, which means it will gain 2 levels instead of 1. Critical reinforce means it will retain some of the experience that it had, so it will be faster to level up. Critical reinforcement isn't important in my opinion. What you can do here is then use harmony, 60 of them, to make this 100% chance of success. So by using this combo, you will be able to double level your item up whenever you do this. I suggest doing this from 11 onward. So when you are at 11, or later you can do it at level 9 if you have enough materials for it. But when you are at 11, this is very efficient to get them to level 13 and to get 13 to level 15. And the biggest reason for it isn't the experience, but even as you can see, even I have very small amount of actual late game Slormite that I can play around with. So I can use, if I level up my item, this is a 14 one, I can use, for example, this level 12 one to level up a level 13 item with a critical to be a level 15 one. For this, I would be needing to spend a lot more virtue ones. I think I would still need 20, and I would need around 120, if I remember correctly, harmony to make it a 100% chance success. But if you have a level 13 item, with this, relatively cheaply, you can level them up to level 15. Also later, you can and you should merge your Slormites into higher rank, as you can see here. It always takes 3 to get 1 more, and you can use this to get even the max rank 1. It's very rare that you get an actual drop of this, so you should be merging them together to get this max level 1. Okay. Upgrade item levels is done. Okay, let's go through game modes. After you finish your campaign, you will be always going to this dude, and you will be doing different game modes in the game. The first one is Battlefield. This is the basics of the game, where you have 5 different versions of terrain that you can go to, where you are gaining influence. And if you want boss fight, which you want in the beginning, because they have a way higher chance to give you legendaries and reapers, I think. Legendaries I'm sure about, reapers I'm not, but you want to fight these bosses because they will give you stuff that you can use to level up your character. Later, when you want to, let's say, target farm one of the places like the Mage Academy, because in the Nether you want to target farm a place that uses Mage Academy as a template, then you can run this as a targeted one, and you will only get these types of room forever when you are doing it. Ref level goes from minus to 10. As you can see, minus is a very easy thing to do. You can do whenever this wants. Usually when you are leveling up, and after that you want to do like 0, 1 or 2. As you can see, it's quite steep the amount of life that these mobs will get. And later even the armor and elemental resistance multipliers are getting huge. You can negate those by having armor and elemental penetration on your gear, depending on what type of damage you do. It's very easy to get 100% armor or elemental resistance removal, and then these 2 stats are something that you don't have to worry about it anymore. All you need to think about is, are you doing enough damage that you kill this mob twice as hard? So then you can go from 3 to 4. If again you are doing twice as much damage, then you can go to 5. If you are doing twice as much damage, you can go to 6. And as you can see in the end, you will need a lot more damage to clear a level 10 than you get to clear a level 1. And they are also hitting a lot harder, so by this point, by around level 5 or 7, you would want actual defenses because they would be actually able to kill you. Here's an example run that I will show you quickly of how it looks like. You come here and you need to run into these portals, and if you not open enough of them, you will be able to exit the room. And when you are exiting the room, you are able to choose between exiting the entire run or going to the next room. This is the special one I talked about. This is a timed portal. This is the main reason why you don't want to later run this anymore, because this is a waste of time after you leveled up. And now you are stuck here for like 20 seconds when this is finishing up. So we are finishing this up. You are not seeing it, but actual mobs are spawning. I'm just killing them too fast. And as you can see here, I'm picking up Elder Storm. Let's see if I can show you. Maybe in the next room. This is another type of portal that will give you a buff, and there is one that gives you a debuff. These aren't big. The debuff can be very annoying if your gear is not prepared for it. This is the Elder Storm that you want to farm in the beginning. As you can see, I got 106 from them. And you can use that for temple and forge runs. After you finish up, even if you didn't finish most of the portals, don't run back for it. Use F. If you finish like more than only 4 or 3 left, then you can use this, I think. And you can choose the next door or head back home. You will see the stats in the end of what you gained from it, and you can see your stats of what you did in the game, how much time it took, and everything else. At this point, it's worth mentioning the filters that you can use. By this point, you don't want to see any more white items because you don't need them, and you most likely don't want to see any more green items as well. Later you want to filter out rare and epic items, and I'm at the point where I even filter out legendary items. The way you filter out is you say that you want to hide this item type, and then you can give exceptions for this. So the one I suggest has a reinforcement level above something. When you are leveling, I think almost any level around level 3 or 4, this will be good for you, because you can use those items, I will show you later, to get these stones out from them and use here later on for your other items. Okay. And what's next? Yeah, oh yeah, filters. The rest, later you want specifically items that you have highlighted. This means that, for example, if I need attack speed, I will highlight attack speed, and those items won't be disenchanted. The rest will be disenchanted, and you can choose whether it will be Goldus, nothing, or fragments. You should switch between these frequently. When you are low on fragments, use fragments. When you are low on gold, use gold, and you will get these materials back from it. Later, you want to use this to farm pure stats. Right now, I'm farming any pure stat that is highlighted for me. And later, when I have my magic find back, I will use it to only farm pure perfect scores, which means I don't have to look each and every of my item that I got of when you are pressing shift of how much of the range I have. So this is a very low roll for a pure stat, as you can see, because only the perfect score items will be saved, which is I think it's the upper 5%, but I'm not sure about the exact number. And you can set this to each and every one. So this is how you want to set up your filters. Okay, the next thing is the Slorm Temple. The Slorm Temple, first you do to unlock your ultimatums, and second you will do to get pure Slorm. This will be used for a few things, mainly to get your pure stat up to the maximum, and also it will be used for pure stat crafting. What will you do is you will always want to go to the latest one that you are able to complete. I would be able to complete like 1000 level temples, so I'm always choosing the latest one, which is automatic. And you pay the price for it, and you go into the temple. In the temple, you will see this line go through. It always shows the next room where you need to go. And these rooms have traps and mobs that you need to kill. So the mobs are less dense than in other places, which is bad for my actual build. But as you can see, I still one-shot them, so it's not a problem. And then I will simply follow this line, and wherever it goes, I follow it. And I will eventually go to the end. If your build is not as overpowered as mine, that you will need to be careful about the possible traps, and as you can see, sometimes pure slum drops here and you can pick it up. So we went through and now it opens and you get the reward, which is pure slum at the end. I got it. You can go to the next or you can exit. And here is also the mage, where you can upgrade your stats with pure slum. You can also buy other slum from here. I don't suggest that you do this. What I want you to do instead is that you buy this Reaper. This is one of the few Reapers that you don't need a chance to drop, but you can buy it for a price, which is really good because this is an actually quite strong Reaper that you can clear the entire game with. So I suggest for your leveling that you get this Reaper as soon as you can, and then you go here and level up your Elderstone max capacity to the maximum. Elderstone Find, I don't think you need to level up. If you are using that bow, you will go to 100,000 plus, and as you can see, I never used enough of it to actually matter, as I would need thousands of run to deplete this, and I have millions of actual Slorm if I by any chance do so and want to refill it. So this isn't something in the late game that you care about, but in the beginning this is a very good stat to have to upgrade the Reaper that you can use to clear the entire game. When you are done with the campaign, the next thing before Nether that you should focus on, or before the Primal Nether, I would say, you should focus on these. Only start the Primal Nether farming when you have this up at maximum. But this isn't something that you do in the beginning because this will cost you a lot of pure Slorm. As you see, I am 350. I spend around 200 plus runs, maybe 250 runs to get this up to the maximum level. These are absolute waste of time. I don't think you need to level this up. If you are weak, then you can level this up to make this easier for you, but I think this is a waste of Slorm. You can also level up your ultimatum here. First, you should level up your experience ultimatum to make your level 100 grind faster. Later, you want to find an ultimatum that you want to use and level that up. There are very strong ones here and less strong ones. I don't think, for example, the 15% Ancestral Strike is good, but this extra critical strike chance is very, very good. And if you don't want to use anything else, you can use the AoE damage reduction set to 35%. This is very strong because the things that can actually kill you are AoE on death effects, and this will remove 35% of it. Here you can choose to level them up. Here you can buy it, and here you can buy the bow. This is what it was, the temple. Okay, moving on. Let's go to the forge. And in the forge, again, in the beginning when you are farming runes, I suggest that you farm on 0 and farm out these runes as fast as you can. But the higher you go, the more doors that you are able to open. I think you need level 4 to open all the doors all at once. And that's good because the mobs will come out faster and your waves will be faster because of this. I will show you the next level. You need, as you can see, actually a very good gear to handle this. The forge you want to keep usually 2 levels below the ones that you can actually clear. So if you are able to clear level 10 barely and you are good in there, then you can go for a level 8 forge, I would say. A level 10 forge is when you are comfortable in the Nether world and in the rest of the game. You go into the forge, you start it, and you can select how many doors you want to open. You want the maximum, as you can see. For it to happen, you will need around 2000 Elder Slorm for each of your run. And if your gear is and build is as good as mine, you can stand here and farm the whole thing. And you will need about half an hour to complete one run. I won't show the entire run. Again, I got the pet fireball, which is very cute. Other gears, you need to be actually careful here because these actually do a lot of damage and you can easily die, so you would need to dodge, for example, the shadow trap that I have under me, the fireball that is around me. These are different mechanics that you need to be careful about. It just, my gear is good enough that I can ignore everything and I can just stay in one place, but in reality, in the beginning you want to run here, clear them, run here, clear them, and just run around. Okay, the reason why you also want to do forges is you will get spirits from here that you can use for several things. First, you level up your runes with it, and you level up your affinity with it. In the beginning, I suggest that you lock in the runes that you want to use and the affinity that you want, and start farming those spirits specifically. You will get almost always more spirits from the affinity reaper that you have. So you will get, I would get twice as much from the Hagen spirit, which is the light blue one, than from the rest. You cannot use the same spirit that you have in here as your effect rune, but you can use it as your activation or enhancement rune if you want to. The tactics here are as follows if you want to be able to do forge farming. I suggest that you don't get gold farming gear because it takes a lot of time to farm out another gear that is meant for gold farming. And while I agree that it's more efficient when you have that gear, it will take you about, let's say, 30 hours to get that gear ongoing. And in the meantime, you would be able to do so much forge runs that while it takes about another, let's say, 30 hours to catch up. So if you are planning to farm more than 50 hours in this game to just get gold and to just get Slorm and everything else, that's the only point where it would be worth it to get a farming gear. Otherwise, I suggest that you get your gold from the forge, and you need to get your spirits from it as well. And in the beginning, it is a very good place to farm legendaries. The way you farm legendaries in the beginning is whenever you see item quality, you will pick that one and you increase your quantity as much as you can. As you can see on this side, you can see how many items I will get at the end of my run. You should be careful about picking negative effects because it can be deadly for your run, and be careful what you actually choose. For me, there is only one thing that I should avoid, and everyone should avoid it especially. It's 700% extra gold, but a random curse. That random curse is not random, it's always the same curse, and that curse is the mob's HP will increase by 25% amount of the gold increase. This means around 400% health increase for the mob, and I had it more than 10 or 20 times the usual health. The highest I had to clear was around, I think, 8 billion that I had to clear a obelisk that was 8 billion health. And it's not that this build cannot do it, it's just not efficient because it will take not 10 seconds to clear away but 30. And you will take like 3 times as much to be here, and it's just not worth it for that price. The way you farm gold is as follows. There are legendary effects in the forge and you want to hide all these effects. And the way that you do so is that you pick whenever you can these gold increases, and the other two that you want are Slorm increases and spirits. The reason why you want spirits is because in the legendaries there is a chance that you get a legendary effect that will convert all your spirits to 35 gold each, which is a base gold that will be multiplied by the gold multiplier you take in each level. This means that the highest I had was converting 150,000 gold base, and I usually got like 70,000 gold at the end of the run. And by using the multipliers that I got 35 million gold from a single run. This is way higher than any other tactic, but you need to high roll it. So I'm not saying that you will get this in every forge run, but let's say every 6th run you can do a high roll that will give you 10 million plus gold, which means that if you combine it together, it will be a very efficient gold farm. For spirits, I also suggest that you start high rolling, because you will be tempted to get spirits from whatever kind that you actually want to use. This is a very good place because this is an epic, and you can see how much stronger the epics are. This is quality. This will give you quality for every Soulmite and Slormine inside your war chest. The later you get it, the stronger it is. There was a point where I got this in the end game. I got like a 4000% quality increase on my fragments with this one. So you just need to get lucky with this when to get it. Now it's not as good, but I get quantity, and quantity is always good. For other legendary effects, I suggest that you find all the tactics that you want on your own. But the other one I suggest for is the Reaper Spirit farm. Is that you always take the Reaper Spirit that you get the most out of. So in my case it's the Hagen Spirit. And the reason for it is because there is a legendary effect that will increase each and every of your Reaper Spirits to the maximum one that you got so far. So if I have like 10,000 from the Hagen Spirit, which I had at one point, that means I will get 10,000 Reaper Spirit from each and every one else. And this high roll tactic is, I think, more efficient than to choose the exact spirit that you actually want. So if I want this spirit, Astorius, I would pick it, but there is no point because I want to high roll it and I want to change this the Hagen spirit into this one. Instead, if I want legendaries, I will pick up these, and you should check the other legendary effect. These conversions and the obelisks that you can get are very, very strong, and you should play around them and try to find your own tactic. Okay, this is pretty much it. The last thing I will say is you can delay the siege leader that wants to arrive here, because after you have every rune, the siege leader will always give you a legendary effect that you can choose, which is very good because you will get for sure one legendary effect, and you don't want to waste this in the beginning, like first 20 level. You want this to be at the end, so whenever it offers you that the siege leader will have something and 5% more chance to spawn, you shouldn't choose that one, because you want to delay him as much as possible. My best one was, I think, delaying him to level 70, and the result I get from it was very worth it. So I suggest that whenever you see siege leader, you just skip it and you will be able to do it later. Okay, this is about what I want to show you the forge. As you can see, it's quite quick to do if you are doing it with a good enough gear and good enough skill. And if you want to finish it, you go here and see what you gathered, and you open your war chest and you get your results and you leave. Okay, the last one is the Nether, and for that you need to finish 2 of those trial parts. The first one will give you your 7th stone, and the last one will give you the stone that you can put in the other place. It doesn't need to be connected. For this, the biggest hurdle that you will have is that you need to kill Adam Nostrus, which will defeat him, which is this dude that gives you so far the stones that you need to get. And I won't spoil it here. It's an interesting fight. If your gear and defenses are good enough, then you can get him. And after that, you unlock the warlords, which will unlock the Nether. Here is the Nether. This is the basic version of it. By default, it won't be unlocked for you. You will only have 1 or 2 places where you can go. And when you go and clear these, then it will activate one of the warlords. You can go there, kill the warlord, and it will unlock more places for you. And you need to this hopping strategy, go through the entire place and clear every part to unlock the Primordial Nether. You also need to clear all of these to unlock the final boss fight, which is Ohm. I won't show the Ohm fight. You will need a good tactic and a good gear for it. I would say that much. But even with starting gear, when I mean good gear, like 3 or 4 legendaries and epic gear is good enough to kill him if you set up your gear and skills correctly. Okay, I will quickly showcase another version. As you can see, it has a increased chance for pure stat, and pure stat means score is higher, which is good. And what you can do is, for example, you go for quantity, and I will search for, and here is magic items quantity. And here I will have a higher chance to get magic item quantity pure stat that I want to farm. So I go in here, it has a negative effect that I need to be able to handle. and every single of these portals give me more and more negative effects. And as you can see, I already dropped something that I need, so I pick it up. And you can see here how much you need to close this and go back home. This will be either 2 or 3 levels that you do here. If, for example, you don't like this level because you need to run back for the other portals, you can, whenever you feel like, open a portal and go to the next level. And when you finish this, then you will be automatically opening a portal and you can leave. If you just want to leave, then you can use this and just leave, and you don't get the rewards. The last part is the Primordial Nether. This is where you will do the last stretch of your farming. For Nether gear, you want to kill these warlords, and before you do that, you want your Nether charge to be close to the maximum, because that will give you 15% chance to get another item from them. Otherwise, it's 5%. So I suggest that you combine your pure stat farming with your Nether gear farming. You will always see what kind of gear this can drop. For Nether gear, you only care about the base type. For example, this is a boot. I don't care about anything else about this. As long as this is a boot, I can use this for my crafting purposes, and that's the only thing I want. Whenever you are fighting a warlord, if it drops another gear, even if you don't pick it up, your Nether charge will deplete to 0. So whenever you find another gear, you need to pick it up, otherwise you are just wasting it. And here you can find again pure stats, and you will use pure stats for the final crafting. Let's go for a boss like, I don't know, this one. And let's say I would have the 200 Nether charge, then I would go here. If I need, for example, I need the shoulders, the legs, I have 2 or 3 things I want to hit more than 50%, that would be good enough for me. Then I go here and I need to clear enough portals to open up the path to the warlord. I will do a very quick warlord run, it doesn't take as long. So this is why I say that movement speed is very limited in this game. First, because of this sliding effect, you sadly get it very often, and it makes it very hard to navigate your character. And the second thing is, as you can see, because of the corridors and desks and chairs, you will always be bumping into other things. And because of this, there is not much point to get like 300% movement speed, because you won't be able to use it. Instead, I will go to the next level. As you can see, this can be very scary if your gear and your build is not good enough for it, because these on-death effects are the main things that will kill you. The mobs itself are not as scary actually, I don't think they hurt as much. But the on-death effects that they can spawn with are something that can instantly kill you. So, as you can see, I got some pure stuff that I want, so I pick it up. And otherwise, usually I just concentrate on the map in the middle and try to find the portals in there and navigate there because of the mob and the projectile clutter. It's the easiest way to navigate through these maps. So again, I will go for 3 rooms because it's easier than to be picking up the last portals. So I will go to the last place where I need to go, and I will just pick up the portals in the middle so I don't go into the rooms. And soon it's enough breaches, so the portal opened, I can go through. And now I will find the warlord. Here is the warlord. epic challenging fight. And as you can see, the Warlord is always immune when there are mobs around. And because of this Warlord, this is a special one, this used a shadow image for every mob that you kill. When they are in this shadow stance, they count as his immunity mobs. So it's very annoying because you will have about 0.1 second each time to hit it, and then it will spawn another set of mobs, and you will just stand here for like a minute and just watch it depleting slowly because these mobs spam over and over again. So a very interesting fight. As you can see, I got a lot of gold from it. And here is the chest where you can roll with Slormite. That's why you would want a lot of it later to get Nether gear. I didn't got any. That means it won't be resetting, but I got a legendary item from it. This legendary item spawn is after you open the Nether. It's very good. So if you are just doing the simple Nether, you can farm a lot of legendaries that you want to have, because in the forge, the main way you will get the fragments to recraft your legendaries, which is this one. The main way that you actually get this is by disenchanting these legendaries. So I take this legendary and I disenchant it. And as you can see, this almost gave me 100. And I need 100 to craft one of these. So around every 3 legendary disenchant will give you 2 of this. And if you are not hoarding them like I do, because I want to complete this, then you can get a lot of legendary shards early on and reroll your gear properly. The other place that you can open this costs, I think, around 100,000 if I remember correctly, or 500,000 to unlock this. And for like 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 you can unlock this. And the later ones will cost you 1 million each. This is where you can store your gear. And this is the place where you can save your gear. And let's say I want to save this gear. I will click on here. And if I have still this gear, then if I go to equip, then I will get this exact set and I can use it immediately. And I don't need like half an hour to retalent everything. Okay. Yeah, also worth mentioning in the Nether that took me a long time to figure out, and it's very stupid. The pluses and X's are very concerning in the beginning, but the only thing that they mean in the gear is that whether you have this gear in your legendary chest or not. So these are absolutely no consequences. For this, you shouldn't care about this and you can ignore it safely. Okay, the next part is the Reaper Smith here. As you can see, you can upgrade your affinity, and it will be always showing first the affinity that your Reaper has. And you can get more Reaper damage and effect multipliers from it. And also your Reaper will be faster to get experience and need a lower level to get to the Primordial cap. So this would around level 70 would trigger and would become a Primordial one if I want to. This is very good if you, for example, farmed out all these, because then whatever you level up, you will need a lower level cap and you will get more XP with the Reapers. The last thing about Reapers I want to show you is there is one Reaper that is by far better than the rest for leveling up, and whenever you get it, I suggest you immediately start using it, which is the bow of the trainee. The reason for this is this can go to 1000, and as you can see, it gives a respectable amount of damage in the beginning with that, but we don't care about them because your gear should be good enough to by itself clear basic white mobs. What we care about is that this gives us a 1500% chance experience gain. So you no longer want to use your XP one, but want to use something else here, otherwise it will negate it. And whenever this level up, you will get this version, and it will give you a bit more damage, which is good. But even more, there is an experience gain multiplier it has, as you can see. So this is 15 times your XP gain times 15, which means that your level 100 grind will be probably under an hour with this one. Otherwise, it would take you several hours, 10, 15 something hours to get to 100 in a very grueling grind. So if you get this bow of the trainee, immediately use this bow. This is the best thing that you can do to level up your character. It has a negative that you cannot level up your mastery, but as long as your mastery is around level 9 or 8, you will be able to use all your masteries. You won't get as much multiplier from it. But when you are level 100, you can use other things, not this bow anymore. For example, this. And you will be at 100, which is good because then the item levels that you will get is at 100 and you don't need to level them up anymore. In the Reapersmith, you can also level up your runes. As you can see here, it's already leveled up, but for example, I need a lot more spirit to level these up, and then they will be at max level and will give me a lot more for each activation. And also, this is a place that you can use to forge Stormreapers. I will show it to you soon. And you can buy this bow. I never used it, but I think I will make a build eventually with it to see how strong it is. Here is how you change characters. You go to the other character and you activate them. And now we slowly go to the Reapersmith. And let's say that I want to forge Stormreapers. As you can see, here is a Stormreaper that I can craft. And for example, I even have enough Reaper spirits for this. So because I farmed it with my Huntress, for the mage I can simply craft it and I no longer need to farm it out. So I will use this. And now I will have this overflowing stuff that I can use as my Reaper. I will switch back to my Huntress. And the last thing that you should know in this place, there are two retalenting places, this one and this one. These are used to immediately give you back all your Slorm that you spent on your ancestral tree or on your mastery. The only reason you really need this is if you are getting the extra damage from this, then you talented everything out and it would take ages to retalent everything if you no longer want this. Because there can be a build that, for example, want to have a low amount of raw damage. So then you want to have the absolute minimum here and you want to get all your Reaper Slorm back from this. And now we are going to the advanced tips and tricks. And I think I will do it in a second video because this is already very long. So another video will come out almost the exact same time as this one, and I hope you will enjoy that one too. Take care. Bye.